going on?
What's up, baby?
What up, boy?
Gotta get that 3 count, man. Gotta get that 3 count.
Nah, yeah, my fault, my fault. Yeah, but another episode, 56ing. What's up, my brother?
Bro, just trying to get through it. I think I'm dying of pneumonia, bro. I'm on all the meds now.
Bro, you probably got the vid, bro. You should have got the jab, bro.
Bro, I got more jabs than I need to. I probably got a third testicle growing somewhere. I don't even know yet. I got all the vaccines.
That's the problem. You got all the vaccines, but you also got all the fucking the latent fucking diseases now. Now you're sick. You don't even know it. But anyway, since we're on that, bro.
It is a
Health and
concern.
wellness.
It is a concern.
Talking about some health and wellness, brother. I mean, we're both. I don't like to say old anymore, but I say as I'm progressing through life, at different stages. You know what I mean? Uh, obviously, we both played ball in college, so now the struggles have come. The check engine lights are on. The checkups, the the milestones of your car, as I say, are now coming up. And yeah, man, it's to that point, bro. And we both had some knee issues and shoulders and whatnot. But what do you think is the at this stage of life, what's the most important thing to you, health and wellness wise? What do you think?
Yeah, the warranty has definitely run out, bro. So what I've been focusing on is uh, diet and nutrition. Because bro, I just found out my brother's got fucking stage 2 kidney failure, and he's 8 years younger than me. I'm like, God damn, bro.
Well,
Yeah, 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 I know. So diet and nutrition is number one, and it's harder than I thought it would be. You don't realize how poorly you eat or how much you drink alcohol that is, or other shit until you just flat out stop doing it.
mhm.
And then you also realize how expensive it is to try to eat, fresh meat, fruit, veggies, whatever the fuck. And on top of that, trying to cook for yourself every day, 2 to 3 meals a day, depending on what your schedule allows for.
Yep.
So it's a pain in the ass, but I will say I do feel better overall, and I'm going to be getting my knee fixed soon. So I'm happy about that. And the second part is what do they call it? It's like life fitness or whatever, overall fitness,
Hmm.
flexibility, agility, things like that. I'm not trying to deadlift, 800 pounds or bench press 400 pounds. I'm not doing that no more because my body hurts. And I'm not coming at you, but at some point, bro, you're going to have to stop doing that shit. I know you don't want to hear that from me, and you deny it every time. And you're like, oh, bro, my knee, my back, my shoulder, I'm going to ease up. And then 2 weeks later, you're repping out 405. I'm like, all right, bro, keep doing what you're doing.
Well, I mean,
What about you, bro? What you got going on?
yeah, man, same thing, bro. I mean, I know we talked offline, but I'm down like almost 20 pounds from the surgery. And I think it's, I mean, obviously, I mean, you understand the struggles, but there's probably only like maybe one or two people who've actually seen, uh, I guess I can say the behind the scenes effects of the physical shit I've been dealing with, bro. Those days I could literally just not walk around the house. It would take me like, 5 minutes to be able to just walk 3 steps because my shit was just feeling so bad. But, I say like the warranty definitely ran out. And after getting my knee fixed, where I realized like, man, how much I wasn't moving around. I guess, for all those years we were younger, running around doing shit that's like, I'll be fine, I'll worry about it later. Well, now it's the later. Now I'm trying to take care of it. But the biggest thing, like you said, man, is the diet part, bro. I've just been whole foods, cooking stuff. My main thing lately is just well, intermittent fasting too. I eat between 12 and 8. And I usually my main meal is steak, whether it's, reverse sear or, sous vide. You haven't got one, just get one. Steaks. I eat steak, eggs, a little bit of cheese, and fruit, bro, is my most consistent thing. Super easy. I've got, like, it's difficult just like to do that constantly day after day after day, but like, I've just gotten it down to a thing, kind of vacuum seal. I just do a whole bunch of it, chop it up, vacuum seal it, put it away. But it is expensive, bro. If you're not like, I went to Publix the other day to get, I was, couldn't make it down to Costco one time, and I got like two filet mignon packs, sticks, a thing of fucking mixed fruit, and some eggs and some cheese. But I should cost me like $80, $90. I'm like, what is happening right now? I'm like, what the fuck is going on? In turn, I could probably go to McDonald's or fucking Taco Bell and not spend $90 the whole week. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's difficult, bro. But I mean, what are you gonna do? This thing we gotta be a little bit more meticulous, as you say, with the overall shit. And I'm about to get back into. I signed up for this yoga thing, and I signed up for the kickboxing thing. Yeah, so it's like just to get back into moving because I'm like, bro, we're used to playing sports, and that's like doing shit. And then like once you stop doing it, it's like that. Man, no, it's physics, but like it's so much harder to just like get that momentum started again from like a dead stop as opposed to just like continuing on the path, bro. So just like getting back into like a physical routine day to day. I mean, all the only thing I've been able to do for like the last 3 months is like walk. So it's been like just walking my ass off, literally. And not that it's boring, but it gives me a chance to catch up on like podcasts and audiobooks and shit. But it's like, all right, I'm ready to like get moving again. I see how sedentary I have become with the injury shit. So I'm like, nah, I gotta get moving, bro. So I'll be able to bounce back. Oh, get the stem cells, brother. Get the stem cells.
Yeah,
All right,
well, stem cells only work if you got space to put them in, bro. I don't in my knee anyway.
go.
But
Gotcha, bro.
I will also warn you about kickboxing. As long as you use it for fitness, not, and I know you, bro, but because you kicking the heavy bag, you just had knee surgery that
Yeah,
puts strain and torque on your fucking knee. You need to
front
be
kicks,
cautious of that shit.
front kicks only. Mm.
Yeah, exactly. Something, whatever you got to do, or just use it for training. I'm all about flexibility, kicking, jumping. I think you need to be able to do all those things. But when you
Yeah,
start fucking quick twitch, smacking a bag, and
well,
it
me,
used to
bro.
feel good to me until it feels good until the day it don't. And you're like, shit, I mean, the other part that's been hard for me is trying to explain this shit to my kids, the diet and stuff.
Mm.
Because, bro, I grew up Taco Bell, pizza, bro. I played all three sports. I wasn't protein create. I didn't do none of that shit, bro. I just ate, drank, did whatever the fuck I wanted to do.
Yeah, yep.
I'm trying to help my kids, and it's like, oh, dad, it's
All
so
right.
much effort. If you learn to do it, it'll be so much easier than when you're trying to learn it at 40 and trying to, dig into shit.
They don't understand, bro. They're skinny now. Just like we used to be skinny. I was like, all right.
Yeah. Bro, I don't need skinny no more, bro. He's for the
Yeah, I see them getting a little, got some
He's getting a little
little
something, bro. He's got his protein, his creatine. He's working out with a dude that's I think 19, BJ. I'm
mm,
like, uh, allegedly he can't be on steroids because they drug test these motherfuckers. Dude, he's the biggest motherfucker I've ever seen. He is. I was like, is that bitch Simone? Like, what the fuck going on, dude? I'm like, how is that possible? That's genetics, but like those don't look
there you
like
go.
normal genetics to me.
Yeah, TRT,
At
fucking that.
19, he should look like bro. His chest is like this, and like his arm, he's got like 20 inches. He's 19, and I'm like, bro, there ain't no way that bitch ain't on roids. Like, what the fuck? Like, Dad, I don't know what to tell you. They test us all the fucking time about this shit, and they're like big time no no. And I'm like, that's a whole nother conversation because my thing is, you're a soldier, bro. I don't give a fuck. Take all the fuck you want. You a guy.
Yeah,
I'm the warrior in this bitch.
yeah. From the serum, bro. Give me all the shots, bro.
Yeah, give me all the shit. I don't know.
That's what I feel now
Uh,
at this stage. I'm like, hey, just give me everything. Fuck it.
yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, bro. Yeah, but flexibility. I'm glad to hear you're doing yoga, bro, because I've seen you stretch, bro. Can you even touch your toes?
I'm far removed from being able to do full fucking split. You know what I mean? But you know, gotta get back. Gotta get back. You know, so it's a long one.
Yeah, I don't think my body was built for splits, so I ain't doing that shit.
But for speed and power, that's it.
That's right, bro. I'm the fastest man alive for 5 yards. After that, we gotta figure that shit out. That's what cars are
Anyway,
for.
God, you earned it. You earned it. Shit, man. What else is going on with the job? Anything new?
Nah, bro, just getting on my training and my certifications.
Well, it's fine.
Loving it.
Congratulations. Congratulations. I finally learned how to shoot, bro. Congratulations, bro.
That's right. I mean, I think we talked about it a little bit on the last episode, but
Yep.
now I get to go to armory school, so I'm excited about that. I'm, starting to be able to do things that I want to do that interest me.
Well, good, bro. See, when you line up your shots, bro, see this? I mean, uh, good, bro. I'm glad I start sending my guns to you. You know what I mean?
I got you, bro. I'll tweak some bitches.
Yeah. Like, well, I mean, I told you, but, I started a new thing. So last week was the first week being a accident investigator, full time. And it actually in some of the area now is where we used to work back in the day. So it's definitely a trial by fire the first week because it was AZ. I'm the only one for the district after like 5 o'clock. So which is prime accident time. You know what I mean? They're just
Yep.
bouncing around, ding, 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 accidents and whatnot. But it's a lot changed, man. It's like I said, it's a nice change, new area, some of it new, some of it old, but it's a nice change, new eyes on the career. Obviously, trying to want to
Bro,
keep
try to get that training, bro. Accident reconstruction. I'm telling you.
yeah, yeah. I was talking to a buddy of mine who was the accident investigator for my squad for a while. We took some reconstruction classes, so it'll probably be something that I'll do here by the time I have some diving stuff to get into in the summertime. So trying to find some time to get in there on the training schedule. So yeah, man, it makes sense new and it's fresh and it's a nice little change of pace. So pretty good. Yep.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. I'm happy about that, but now you just reminded me of stuff with diet and nutrition. And I know we stay apolitical on all our podcasts, but what do you think about everyone freaking the fuck out that RFK said, hey, SNAP will no longer support soda and candy?
I'm not upset with that. I'm not upset about it. I mean,
People
I
are
think
freaking out, bro.
I, and I think, and obviously, as someone I'm not someone who uses it, but part of my, I guess, my initial, I guess, questioning of the outrage is it a socioeconomic thing? You know what I mean? Or it's like we're taking off the stuff that's people can actually afford on it. Like we said, I mean, I went to,
Well,
like, kids,
SNAP, so it's free. It's taxpayer funded.
well, but that's what I mean though. Like they're taking it out of their set because they don't want it. What's the outrage on it? Because I'm like, if you're just looking to me, health and wellness wise, I'm like, this shit's not good for you. Why would we be upset that we're taking it off? I don't understand it. I don't get it.
They don't like it because they don't believe the government should tell you what you can and can't eat. And well, let me just follow it up. The government is not telling you what you can and can't eat. It's telling you what you can and can't eat on taxpayer funded with taxpayer funds. Again, my complaint with most of the conversations in society today, politically, apolitically, socially, whatever, they're fucking lazy and they want to have hashtag. If it don't fit in a hashtag, nobody cares.
Not for even if that's
But yeah, but if you're looking at the totality, why would we use taxpayer money to let you buy things that are going to give you medical issues, nutritional issues, possibly mental issues? There's a lot of research and studies that talk about people who grow up with malnutrition and I mean, shit. I just read Tucker Carlson's dad died, and he was. I mean, this is 1943. He was born in 1943, but he was in an orphanage or whatever. Motherfucker had rickets, which means his legs were bent for the rest of his life because as a kid he had malnutrition. I was like, God damn.
what?
I mean, bro, growing up, working in the hood. I grew up in the trailer park. There was always those kids that were kind of bow-legged. I just thought they were bow-legged motherfuckers.
Yeah,
Maybe they had.
like that.
No, I was like, I had to look up what rickets was. I was like, what the fuck is rickets?
Yeah, I'm not fucking heard of it.
What all this shit causes medical issues, and then also there's a lot of research into high sugar, low nutritional value diets, and then kids go to school. And this is another thing that I'm starting to listen to more podcasts, and then I'll listen and I'll read. It's affecting test scores. So I've talked about this before, but imagine being a young man or woman in school and you think you're dumb. Everyone tells you you're dumb. School is so hard. You don't give a fuck. Nobody's really there to help you because that's not public schools are designed to help the what is it the 70%. So if you're super low or super high, they're not going to help you either way. It's only that middle piece. That's what they're designed for. And here you are, your whole life, you thought that you're just dumb and hey, listen, I'm stupid, I don't understand. And it could be solved with something as simple as nutrition. And then all of a sudden it changes your whole life.
Yeah, bro. And from working in the school for a while, I've seen like a little bit of a outside looking in kind of thing. And you'd be surprised at how many kids they're like, oh, this is a bad kid. They have behavior problems. And I was like, I don't think that kid's a bad kid or whatever. I was like, I think he's hungry. I think, I mean, like he's hungry. I mean, what are we talking about here? It's like, it's hard to focus when you're hungry. Your body's not working right, whatever. So like the point you said, I think a lot of these issues probably come from diet. They come from it's a whole nother topic. Fucking vaccines, shots. I was like, I don't think these people are. Yeah, I say these people, that sounds terrible, but I mean, I think in some of these situations, I think people in general are not as healthy as they probably could be. Even then, like I work out, 3 or 4, sometimes five days a week. I walk, get my steps in, whatever. I was like, and I could make adjustments to my own health and wellness, to better, you know, serve it. I was like, yeah, if I, this is why I don't like going on long vacations. So if I take more than, for example, we went to Savannah last weekend for St. Patrick's Day for the weekend. 3 days of like not being on like my normal schedule, eating schedule, blah blah blah. Obviously, a little bit more drinking than normal. But I felt like shit the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Absolutely dumb the rest of the week. I was like, oh man, I feel horrible, brain fog, whatever. So I'm like, bro, that shit, it definitely is a factor and it matters. And like you said, especially with the kids, I think the earlier you learn it and the earlier we can address. But fun fact, I forget what is what, 60s? When they had the JFK standards in high schools, we had to do like
Yes.
semi. But bro, looking at those old videos of just like the kids in high school, I'm like, what did we like tail off and like make a turn towards like, bro? I remember we all remember this being even in middle school. It's like, oh, kids just like wouldn't dress out for fucking gym. It was, I don't want to get sweaty during the day. I'm like, what is happening right now? We're
Yeah.
not like we're not physical, we're not physically fit, we're not even, I'm like, bro, again, I think you can pick a struggle. You can't be weak and fat and and slow and whatever. Like, pick a struggle. I mean, if you're gonna be
Yeah.
fat, at least be strong. I mean, if you're gonna be weak, at least be fast. You know what I'm saying? Do something. Golly.
Mhm.
Well,
But dude, I remember again, keep in mind, I grew up in a trailer park, but as a kid, I don't really remember a lot, but I remember I remember sometimes we'd eat rice 3 meals a day, and
yeah,
my dessert would be rice with cinnamon and sugar on it. Like that.
yeah,
That's what it was. But I
yeah.
remember being a deputy, D1 in the box right by USF, and it's 3 o'clock in the fucking morning, and the people have their kids, toddlers, babies in a diaper in a stroller, and they're sucking on a bottle, and I'm like, what the fuck is in there? Oh, it's Coca Cola.
Yeah.
You're giving a baby Coca Cola? He likes it. No shit, he likes it. It's fucking sugar. Oh
Oh, yeah.
fuck. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
why is he up at 3 in the morning? What are you doing? And
It's,
then it's like, oh no, man, the sit was he. I don't want to get in trouble, but it's like, is that systemic racism, bro? When that kid grows up and he doesn't do well in school and he leads to a life of crime, was it because the system is holding him down? I'm not saying certain things don't exist, but at some point you gotta like. And listen, it's not a black thing. It's not. I saw that shit in the trailer park.
what
Also,
happens?
the cultures that come to the U.S. they do wild shit, bro. Like in Maine, when I was a trooper, I went to a house. It's a 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom house, and there's 9 people living in it. And they had, and in the kitchen, all the cupboards where dishes go, they had chicken coops in there. They had chickens laying eggs.
What,
So listen, yeah, again, these are real things. So that shit happens.
oh,
And
yeah.
so when you back to the snap conversation, I think we should be promoting health.
Yeah.
But also, if you remember, I mean, even the fucking, I mean, this is where it's hard to trust the government though, because even the food pyramid, right? Bread was the
Mhm.
big, sugar was on the
Yep.
top, and then you had like little meat, and little. It should be the other way around. Protein,
Yep.
no sugar. Maybe I mean, there's sugar in bread, but whatever. It should be meat, veggies, fruit. That's the fucking pyramid. Done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe some grains. Let me throw in some grains, beans, rice, whatever. Not fucking bread, sugar, and fucking candy.
Yeah. I mean, we all have our vices. I mean, shit. I had Starbucks, the non-dairy phone.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. But we all have our vices and whatnot. And even then, bro, I've learned to try to cut shit where you can. I'm like, I used to be a big mixed drink guy. When I was younger, there's mixers, but then you develop a palate. And I'm like, nah, man, just give me an ice cube and some whiskey or some tequila and we're done. I don't need all the mixing and shit. Just try to cut those calories and sugars and shit where you can, and it makes a big difference, bro. It's a huge difference. Be surprised.
It does.
A lot of people be surprised they clean that shit up. How much better they feel. You know what I mean?
It does. Now, let me ask you this though. We're kind of bouncing back and forth, but for the health and fitness part, so Andrew Huberman, Joe Rogan, I'm missing one and I apologize, but they talk about simple things you can do to start your day that go beyond just running, walking, lifting weights. I think all those things are important. But like they call it grounding, where you put your feet on grass, like real grass. Now,
Mhm.
up north, that's just a little hard in the wintertime, baby. But they're like, look, you don't need to spend $8,000 on a grounding mat. If you can, that's cool. You just sleep in it, but you don't have to. Just
Mhm.
go put your feet in grass or sand or whatever for 10 minutes a day. First rays of sunshine, like shirt off, stand in the window, let the light hit your eyes. Don't stare at the sun. Again, people got these dumb. I'm not, don't stare at the sun, but just let the light hit you. Cold water, hot water, all those things to
Mhm.
kind of jumpstart your body. And obviously, they're well more versed and spoken on it than I am. But these are just simple things and breathing exercises, which I still haven't done. But it's
Mhm.
like that whole process might take you a half hour.
Yeah.
Do you look into any of those things? Do you
Oh,
eat any of those things? Water,
oh, yeah.
hot?
No, I start my days with well, obviously because I'm older now, you gotta do a function check on your body. You know what I mean? If you get out of bed, so like the first thing I do is swing those feet around on the side of the bed, kind of just like do a little stretch and make sure everything's good to go. Get up. First thing I do is well, obviously the first thing I do every morning without fail is make my bed first. Obviously, make my bed first. This is my first complete task for the day. Then I go outside because I usually get up right after sunrise. Get up, just be out, bro. I literally just go outside for at least 15, 20 minutes, do my meditation, do my morning prayer. You just like get outside. I know sounds super crazy, bro. But like even with the grounding, I might not necessarily go outside and put my feet on the ground, but obviously you've seen the backyard. There's trees that follows it, bro. There's a big tree in my backyard, and I will literally get out there and just like touch that tree, bro, for like a couple minutes at a time. I know, bro, the whole tree hugging thing, it sounds weird, but I've worked it into there. Kind of just like get out and just be a part of nature. Just be out, bro. Literally, just be outside. Let the sun rays come in. You know, just be out there and in the shit, man. And it's so a lot of things I do adhere to. The cold, I do the cold. I see him do it on Instagram doing the fucking Saratoga water face plunge thing. I think it's wild, but cold, cold water and then a hot rag to just get the shit going. And I do think it's a good way to start the day, man, because if you just kind of just like it, it 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 wakes you up, not necessarily your body like is awake and moving, but like it wakes you up like mentally like clarity, just like start the day off. I notice when, especially when I'm traveling, it's hard, like I said, to be out of your routine. I notice a big difference when I don't get that in,
Yeah.
uh, as opposed to when I do. And I think if you have the time and the luxury, I think everybody should be doing it. I think that's the natural way it's designed to be.
Have you seen the Ashton Hall's morning routine thing? It's viral. Now everybody's copying it.
Uh, it's oh my god, no, it's
Well, I saw two dudes roast it, man. They're like, he's writing in the journal. That's the first page. He's acting like he's been doing this for years. Got him.
As somebody who keeps a journal, I was like, bro, I don't think you do this every day. But
Nah.
okay, nah. I was like,
It's like, you've already been up for 5 hours before you even start something. Like, what are we doing?
I
What's
was
going on?
like, been up for 6 hours and done 6 hours of bullshit. Right, he gets took him out. He did the wiping the face with the banana. I was like, bro, what are you doing?
Uh,
No one does that. Oh, no one does that anywhere. I was like, you
nah.
don't do that. You don't do that when you're not on camera. Stop it. Stop.
Yeah. Nobody does it. That's outrageous.
No one does that. Get out of here. Come on. When you start,
Oh,
when you're down with a banana with potassium, come on, bro. I got here.
yeah, bro. That shit had me rolling. But I saw the video, but I always go to the commentary ones where they break it down and roasted that dude. They're like, what is he doing?
1 minute not in the air. He started to dive at 7:30, landed at 7:34. I was like, come on, get out of here. Stop. Please.
Also, good for you, bro. If you got that kind of time, good for you, baby.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, bro. We started something, but tell me what you said. Segregation is coming back, bro. What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh man, I'm surprised you haven't heard about this, bro.
No.
Trump,
First I'm hearing about it. You brought it up.
apparently Trump got rid of some federal mandate or some federal policy that I guess makes segregation legal on a federal level, even though it's still illegal on a state level. And the outrage to me, and again, maybe I'm just not well versed on it. I just don't care enough about it to have an opinion one way or the other. But I just think it's an interesting conversation where I'm like, what year are we in? And how, we're such a progressive society that we're still talking about this kind of stuff. I'm like, I mean, in private businesses, people can refuse you service at a private business already. Like, so what are we talking about? What
Yeah.
what do they mean? What's happening?
Well,
I guess some people it's like, I guess it was like a TikTok. They're like, hey, put the signs back up. At least we want to know. I'm like, we want to know what we're not. We'll just keep our money from there. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
you could do that
I don't
anyway.
know. That's what you can do that now. I don't know.
Well, let me go on my little diatribe. Because it's something people have experienced it in small doses, but this is why I have issues with the federal overarching federal mandates anyway,
Hmm.
because it's too broad. It should be state by state, but it's called malicious compliance. Meaning,
Hmm.
I'll give two examples. When Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, was like, "Hey, we probably shouldn't be talking about anal sex and butt plugs and drag queens in front of kindergartners. That seems a little
Yeah.
outrageous. Doesn't seem reasonable." And the opposing party called it a book ban. He hates gays. We can't talk about slavery anymore. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is for like, whatever. Elementary school kids. Like, I said no anal sex and butt plugs and fucking drag queens. So like, when did it come into that?
Yeah.
Another example was Pete Hegseth said no more DEI shit in the military. He's like, we want warriors. I don't give a fuck what gender, race. He goes, if you're a fucking warrior, then you can be in the military. All this other shit got to go out the window. Within 2 days, they're like, sending out memos. We can't teach about the Tuskegee Airmen anymore. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's not at all the purpose of what he was trying to put out. So malicious compliance. Like, oh, I'm complying with what you said. And this again ties into we've lost reasonableness. People don't want to have
Yeah.
conversations. They just want to take whatever. Unless it happens on the other side too. It happens both sides. So it's not a left or right thing. It's just if you hate somebody enough, then you lose your fucking mind. Which also ties into something else we've talked about. But like people fucking hate Trump so much that anything educated people do like. How's your day? Well, I'm just trying to swallow the fact that the end of the United States, the destruction of our justice system is occurring. Huh? What? Did I miss something? Did I miss a memo? Did you not see the election? He's destroying everything. And I'm like, oh my God. So, this is the problem with the federal system. It's also, well, and again, Biden, I hate him so much. Even if Biden were to do something good, people wouldn't see it as good. And so we've lost this
Yeah.
mutual respect for our country and our elected officials, right? But it also stems from the fact that the federal government is not designed to deal with individual instances or stories. They just have to go, no more immigration, no more whatever. With the idea being, hey, we got 20 million illegals in this country. We got to get these fuckers out. We got to figure out who they are. We got whatever's going on. Well, within those 20 million, there might be 100,000 that this person's a doctor doing cancer research. This person is, a businessman. You know what I mean? So, and like you saw Maxine Waters, well, maybe we should kick out Elon Musk and Melania Trump, because they're foreigners, they're foreign nationals or what. It's like, what? Why we got to be lazy like that? You know what I mean? Those individuals are not the same as the MS-13 gang members or the Tren de Agua or the murderers or the rapists. I don't understand why they try to just meld the two. It's like, no, there's a fucking difference. People who hate this fucking country, don't want to adhere to the laws, should get the fuck out. Now, we can't kick out U.S. citizens, although I wish, hey, you hate this country so much, I got somewhere for you to go then. But we can't do that, right? But the fact that this is such an explosive topic, I'll just never, it's such a lazy conversation because nobody on the right or the left wants murderers and gang members roaming around their community, wherever the fuck they live. But to say, oh, you're destroying families and you're subverting the rule of law. I'm trying to make the country safe again. And now there will be people that get caught up in that. And I fully agree that, look, you're a doctor doing research or you're a successful businessman employing 100,000 people. No, you should be welcomed with wide open arms, baby. That's why, but Trump is Trump, bro. Like the golden Visa card or whatever, instead of a green card, it's a gold card. I think that shit's outrageous, but whatever, dude. We want wealthy people to come build jobs and invest in the U.S. So wherever he's got to do. And I'll also say
Oh
this:
yeah. Yeah.
Trump is still a man, bro. The Department of Justice pissed him the fuck off. The IRS pissed him the fuck off. And are people surprised that he doesn't like them? I mean,
Yeah.
uh,
No, bro, we know
literally,
what's
like
happening.
your enemies, would you not do the same? Your perceived
Like,
enemies? No,
we know it. Some of this is like, bro, we know what's happening. We get it. We can read between the lines, right?
no. Tell me right now if your frontline supervisor, your sergeant, was a fucking prick and just to try to destroy you, and then within a year you're like now the fucking sheriff. You just gonna let all that go? No, I got something for you now,
I'm
man.
not gonna say anything about it. Right. As they say, I might not come out and say certain things, but there'll be signs. You'll know.
It blows my mind that people get this upset. I'm like, well, how has it affected you personally?
Yeah. Yeah. But again,
Most
but that's
people,
why
most people have no
we talked,
response.
yeah, we talked about this before, and I was like, I don't. To me, I look at a lot of the federal stuff as you said, like you would your house, right? And it was like my responsibility is to my house first. So I wouldn't let some of these other things come in like my house. But you can't come in here and disrespect what I got going on, or be a danger to what's going on here. I was like, you gotta get the fuck out of here. So I think when you break it down in that sense, people can, I guess, I would hope people can understand that sentiment. But sometimes I'm gonna be honest, man. Sometimes I just think people just looking for shit to be mad about to just be mad about shit. I'm like, and even then, when shit happens, I'm like, okay, this is where we are currently. I said, what are we going to do about it? How are we going to make the best of the situation? We're already here now. So now what?
Uh,
You know?
Firebomb Tesla dealerships and harass Tesla owners. Again, fuck it.
Not
That,
gonna change. Not gonna do anything.
oh,
Yeah, not gonna do anything about that problem. But okay, sure, whatever.
no,
Well, perceived,
like
I say whatever you think.
it blows my mind, dude. Like the thought process that people have or don't have, I guess. Have y'all had any of that shit down in Florida? Yes.
Uh, I'm sure we do, but I don't watch the news, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm too busy trying to be peaceful and tranquil to really just get into a whole lot of. the BS. But I mean, you know, with the job, there's so much shit that happens in the course of a day that never hits the news. You know, so it's like,
Oh,
you know what I mean? They're like, oh my God, there was a shooting yesterday. I was like, bro, there was 6 shootings last week that you never heard about. Like, what, what are we talking about news wise? What to me, what's newsworthy and what's
yeah,
not is, you know, like I said, I don't have the time to really just get into a lot of that shit on a day to day basis. I'm like, not one, it's not gonna better my day at all. And two, I'm just like, I'm too busy out here trying to just be, like I said, fucking peaceful and fucking tranquil and just inside of my own fucking mind to be worried about what's, you know, what paper fucking president is signing or not signing. Okay.
yeah. Well, and what do you think about this, bro? Because this is my thought. The older I get, the United States is 50 states,
Hmm.
and while there's certain rules that govern all 50 states, I believe
Yeah.
that each state should have the ability to try shit out. I'm not a fan of socialism. I'm not a fan of communism. We talked about it, where like the fire department is socialism because everyone pays into it, and you expect them to come put the fire out of your house, whether you're rich, poor, or whatever. It's a
Hmm.
form of it, but taxes, getting off gas, going on gas, whatever, all these things, the rule of law, how you choose to enforce it. I think it should be up to the states to an extent, meaning, you know, the way you govern the state of Maine cannot even come close to the way you govern the state of New York or Florida or North
Yeah.
Dakota, South Dakota, Texas, whatever. Like they're all their own states, and you kind of figure out what works and doesn't work. And I don't know if you're talking about it on this show or Street Tales, the other podcast, but you know, another issue is people don't travel, and I know it's expensive, and it's a luxury. But I wish there was a way to have more people travel just within the U.S. It doesn't even have to be overseas, which I'm a big advocate for. When you travel around to different states and cities, and you go, I don't, even if you knew nothing, Republican, Democrat, you don't know anything, you get a feel for. I don't feel safe here. I don't like what I'm looking at here. I don't like the
Yeah.
cost of living here. What led to
Yeah.
this? And then you can make your decisions based off that. I think a huge problem is that politics has now started to govern social lifestyles,
Mhm.
which I'm like, you have no business telling me who to love, how to love. Well, again, within,
Yeah.
you can't be out here loving kids, bro.
But no, no, it's
So
not,
there's
it's
certain there's certain there's certain lines in the sand. There's certain lines in the sand.
yeah.
Like, nah, I don't. What state you live in? I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
You can't go out here killing everybody that pisses you off. You can't be, having, hey, they trespass on my land, so I kill them. No, you can't be doing that shit. But if you want to have land and farm your land and go green off the grid, who gives a fuck? Leave me alone. Or if you want to live in a city with 10,000 other people in your building, hey, bro, more power to you. It's not for me. But
Yeah.
we have so much invested in what our federal leadership does, and how and we expect these edicts to come out that are exactly the way you or I would want them to be, and it's like it can't be that way.
Yeah. No, I mean,
That's why when
I
people
agree
freaked out about
100.
Roe v.
And, you
Wade,
know, so,
that's why people were freaked out about Roe v. Wade and shit. When the Supreme Court said, "No, this is a bullshit law. It should be power to the states," people lost their minds. My thing is,
mhm.
if you love abortion that much, go live in California, New York, Chicago, Seattle, DC. I don't know, wherever the fuck they're super pro abortion. And if you don't agree, which you're entitled to not agree, go live in those states that like 5 week ban or whatever the fuck it is, right? But you can move.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to, like you said, when it comes to different parts of the country, uh, yeah, like I said, those broad sweeps are not going to work everywhere. And
Nope.
hell, even with shit, bro, even within Florida, there's things that would work in in fucking Jacksonville. It's not going to work in Miami. It's going to work in Orlando. It's not going to work in Tampa. It's not going to work in Pensacola. These are two completely different parts. Not even just the country, like of a state, bro. It's like the ways of life are different here, and these broad strokes are just gonna. I sometimes look at it like this: some of these federal policies and these broad strokes are not to are to keep are to keep certain things from happening, not to dictate how things should happen on a day-to-day basis, if that makes sense, right? So it's like
Yeah.
I don't think you should be able to. I think federal government should not be in a lot in our business a lot of the time, right? But at the same time, it's okay. You can say that, but yeah, we all agree slavery is not a good thing, right? Federal government should be able to be like, hey, we're gonna make sure this is a hard line of saying this is not gonna happen. You know what I mean? So we're not. This is setting the bar. We're not going to the left of this. You know what I mean? Hey, like you said in the beginning, you should be able to love who you want, not kids. Boom. You know what I mean? So like, I think it should be there to kind of like keep a lot of shit from happening. And then when you need to refine it down further, it should get into like more like where you're at and go take it from there.
I mean, we already see this kind of played out in smaller scale, but indecent exposure is a crime in, I believe, all 50 states. I don't. I guess I don't have their statutes in front of me right now to
Yeah,
confirm that, but pretty understandable. You
I
can't
think
go
so.
walk around the streets butt ass naked. But in almost every state, again, I'm sure someone will correct me, you have nudist colonies where people are allowed within the confines of their colony to be naked all they fucking want
Yeah, yeah,
in public. Or what? Well, I guess it's private property, but I mean, it's not in your house, right? Nudist beaches.
yeah.
I mean, they have these things already out there. So there are already cutouts. If you believe that strongly, that I just want to have my fucking my dick just swinging around and my ass and titties hanging out. All right, if that's what you want, you need to go live in these
Right.
areas.
There's a place for you.
I mean, right?
Yeah,
It's food
yeah,
for thought.
yeah.
I don't know.
You make a valid point. Yeah.
I just again, I will continue to love
Yeah.
how people are like America is
I don't
falling.
know.
America is falling. Everything's failing. My rights are being violated daily, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, is that the brand new iPhone? Okay, cool. What did you? Oh, you drinking seltzer water? Okay. You don't look like you're missing any meals. Oh, okay, cool, cool. Did you show up in a car? Are you driving? Oh, okay, cool. And you have a house or an apartment or a condo or whatever? Oh, you do? Okay. So what's going on? How is your world coming to an end? Explain that to me again.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of these are first world problems, and I think that as I've gotten, like I said, progressed through life a little bit, my focus is not so much on the external world. You know what I mean? It's a lot more focused on what's going on in here and what I can control and what I got going on, as opposed to put it this way. If my focus was just on what's happening in the country, what's always only happening around me, and not what's happening just within myself, well, I'd be losing my fucking mind. I would never feel good. I'd never feel safe. I'd never feel, I guess,
Yeah,
settled because there's always some shit going on. I'm like, well, goddamn, man. But at this stage, I'm learning to kind of just like block. That's why I say I don't watch the news, bro. I just block out all the bullshit and worry about the things that I need to worry about and take care of. I'm like, shit, I still got to get up and go to work tomorrow and get this money. I wake up, get this money, train, do all the shit I need to do and take care of my own shit, take care of internal first, and then worry about the external shit. And so I'm like, we have these conversations and people have these big discussions and all that kind of shit. And it was like, yeah, but if we woke up tomorrow and all the shit went to shit, like then what?
yeah.
Like
I want to switch gears.
what if we woke up tomorrow? Yeah, but
I just want to switch gears because I meant to ask you about this probably a week ago. I forgot, but it kind of ties in. I don't know if we've talked about it on this show or not. Eddie George, who was the coach at Tennessee State, my former alma mater, let's go, baby. He left the head coaching job at Tennessee State to go to Bowling Green, Kentucky. Now,
okay,
I have not seen, I mean, I haven't seen social media about any hate, any angst. Everyone's like, congrats, we're happy for him, all the success.
yeah.
Why did Deion Sanders get so much hate when he left Stanford to go to Colorado? And what's the difference?
Um, there is no difference. I think people just don't like Deion Sanders. I think that's
All
it.
right. That's not what they were saying. They were like, you left an HBCU to go chase money in Colorado, blah, blah, blah. And the whole time I'm like, I mean, I think even Stephen A. Smith, I can't remember if he was pro or against it, but he had heavy feelings about it. You know what? Before I start saying something wrong, let me Google that real quick. But there was a lot of hate because they're like, oh, you're abandoning HBCU to go chase white money because Colorado State's majority white, although football is majority black. But whatever.
Yeah. Like I said, there is no difference. The other coaches do it all the time, even though it's not HBCU. When you see a smaller school, hey, you went from, I don't know, like Florida State's Mike Norvell was the coach of Memphis. Go well at Memphis, left Memphis, go to Florida State, take all the money. No one's gonna say shit about that. They're gonna be like, oh man, you got a better opportunity. Good for you. You earned that. Same thing with Dion. The only thing people get pissed, people just don't like Deion Sanders because he was good. He told us he was good, and there was nothing you could do about it. And
Yeah.
they just don't like him. You know what I mean? That's all it is. That's it.
Let's see here. All right, so good. I'm glad I paused myself. So Stephen A. Smith was defending Deion Sanders not only for leaving, but also because there was a lot of nepotism because he's like coaching his son. He's like, I do the same fucking thing,
Yes.
and I don't
Guess
see what the
what?
problem is.
It's both. I know we talked about this on the very first one with the LeBron thing.
Yeah,
It, is that not the fucking point? I
what
have
do you mean
zero
by that?
problem with nepotism. It, is that not the fucking point, right? If I'm in a position, right? If I'm in a position, I've earned all this stuff, I've done all these things, I am going to teach my son the same things and put him in the best position to either one, first and foremost, put him in the best position to be successful just as a man in his own life, teach him all the things that I know he can be able to do whatever the fuck he wants to do, right? Or or in both, right? Take over what I've done. Put this one. They're mad about nepotism in sports, and I don't understand why, but you'll see a plumbing business, it'll be, Carter and Sons or Johnson and Sons or whatever, like all these major companies, like, nope. So we don't have a problem for nepotism when it comes to business, but now sports, we have a problem with it.
Hmm.
It's like, I'm like, what? I'm like, is that not the point? It's a family, like, some of these things are family businesses. Of course, I'm going to hire my kid.
Well, let me say this. I agree with you because if I could ever do that for my kids, I 100% would.
Honestly,
Uh, I've never experienced it where I've never had an in so I could get something that I wanted. Has never happened any point ever a day in my life.
but the thing is, I'm
Uh,
not going to knock people who do have it in, though.
no, no, but this, I'm just now I'm going to play the advocate here. So if you can, so this is maybe a broader conversation. This might tie into it, but I remember in the '90s, sports were like I don't know, man. They were. I feel like it wasn't just my world. It was like the one thing that everybody could kind of come together. They rooted for their team, or even if they weren't on, rooting for the same teams, they just loved the game. But all sports, boxing, fight, whatever it was, like people like Mike Tyson, like whatever, all the big fights, every like 100 million people were watching it, right? And now every league is struggling. Well, I say struggling, they're still making billions, but viewership's starting to go down. There's starting to be more issues with it. And
Yep.
I guess my question is, there was a Cinderella type story or thought in people's heads, like most of these athletes overcame adversity to now be the best that they could, to be the best athletes in the world. And
Hmm.
there was something amazing, entertaining, enthralling about watching these fucking famous athletes do things that you could only ever imagine to do. And you wanted to like you hear about Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, whatever, like they're practicing 10, 12 hours a day, shooting threes till 2 in the morning to get their float, whatever. I'm drawing a blank because I wasn't ready to have this conversation. Who's the point guard now that's fucking
Steph Curry.
Curry, where he's doing like ball drills, catching the tennis ball, whatever. Just wild shit, bro. And you're like, oh, no wonder he's so good.
Mhm.
Um, I think, in my opinion, it starts to take away from the allure, from the story of it when it's like, oh, well, that makes sense. His dad's worth hundreds of millions, so he had all the best coaches, all the best nutrition, all the best training, and now he leveraged his position to get this guy. It takes away from the like, did he earn that? I'm
No,
tying
no,
it all in, and I could
no,
be
no,
wrong.
no, I hear you. But here's the thing. the on- so the only thing that he got that he may have gotten over another person, right, is that he had a blueprint. Whether LeBron can't make any shots for Bronny, Steph Curry's dad couldn't shoot any threes for him. I was like, Michael, the same way they had to do all their own shit, the nepotism kid had to do his own shit. It was like you still gotta earn it, but you still gotta be able to do it.
Yeah.
Right? You still gotta be able to do it. I think I forget what podcast I was watching, listening to, and the guy was talking about it was an athlete. He would I think his roommate in college, his father owned I think like a major company, like I think it was like a plumbing thing, a plumbing business. I think it was Kenny Smith. He played for the Rockets. It was his roommate in college. His dad owned like a really big plumbing company. Obviously, we're talking about a case of nepotism. He's like, but his dad made him had to go to plumbing school to learn to be a plumber and literally learn everything about the business all the way up before he was ever able to, take over the business and at some point. He's like, because he's like, you need to know this thing through and through. It's like, just because you're my son doesn't make you qualified to be up here. I was like, you need to know everything that I know to be able to
Yeah.
run this successfully. And as like I said, but even in cases of nepotism, the only thing that you marry that you may or may not have, that nepotism will get you that somebody who doesn't have that, and I say one is an opportunity, an extra set of eyes, or you know, knowledge, but you still have to do the work. You still gotta do it. But you know what? It's like this, bro. It's like this. And I tell you all the time, when it comes to like working out, right? We have the internet, brothers. All the information that you need on diet, exercise, nutrition, all of it is out there, right? And I heard this guy, this is a powerlifter, and John Blank on his name, but I remember the clip very vividly. He said, I could write you a plan. He's like, I could write you a plan. I could tell you everything to fucking do. I could, to the T. But it's like at some point, it's like, I can't do a single rep for you. I can't live this way for you. There's nothing I can do for you except give you the information. And a lot of it is just shit you can get. You don't even need me to get the information. It's like, but he's like, I say 8 out of 10 people won't even start, won't even try it. And then will complain about the shit that they didn't get.
Uh, I can attest to that because my kids. Well, you fuck, bro. You've been there.
Nope.
Uncle BJ, can you write me a workout plan? And I'm trying to learn about. And I say, and I would, which I've done everything I could do. You've done it. Everybody's done it.
Mhm.
But they get mad at me because I'm like, you're on here. You have a fucking phone.
You have access
You
to
have
all these things.
all the access to all the knowledge that has ever existed in the fucking planet.
Hmm.
And instead of watching stupid fucking TikToks and bullshit about makeup tutorials or whatever the fuck you're looking at, type in health and fitness, workout routines, and watch it. It's so boring. And I'm like, well, then you don't really care.
Yeah, most of it is boring. Most of it is boring, very boring. It does suck.
Yeah.
It is uncomfortable. It does hurt. It does, like yeah, all these things. And that's we get the term embrace the suck. They're like, bro, none of this shit is easy. None of it's easy. Most things uh, are earned, they're not given. And I think that's the people. I think that's the problem right there. Right, is that when it comes to that, most people think that in case of nepotism, that they're what people are getting, what they call nepo babies, that they're getting are given and not earned. I think that especially in sports, that's different than like a trust fund kid who didn't have to do anything. He literally just was born and inherited all this kind of money. Yeah, I get why you'd be bothered by that. I was like, but even then, that's still not their fucking fault. And I'm like, isn't that not what your parents are supposed to fucking do? I was like, I want you to do better and be better and have better than I have through life. And like, is that not the goal here?
Yeah. Well, I could speak to trust fund babies. They're not all the same. And they don't always have a great life.
Before?
People think they do, they don't.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, there's plenty that their parents were their parents and they taught them as many lessons as they could and they talked to them and they had great relationships. Those kids are usually much more well adjusted than I inherited, whatever. $300 million, and I was raised by, a slew of nannies, au pairs, whatever. And I went to private schools and boarding school, and I'm like, well, what was your relationship with like your parents? They're fine.
What?
Okay. Well, you missed a few steps.
Yeah. Okay.
I
I
think
mean,
that's the key part. I try to talk to my daughter about this because she sees people's lives on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever. And I'm like, you cannot compare yourself to those people. I said, one, because 90% of it is bullshit, fucking a lie.
yep.
And even if it is true, you don't know what it took for them to get there. Like, I'm going to back up a little bit. All this hate for CEOs and billionaires and shit.
Mhm.
Most people don't understand that those motherfuckers, and I've worked alongside them when I was with the Secret Service. I've seen powerful, wealthy people. Those fuckers are up at 4 a.m.
Mhm.
consuming the news, sometimes working out. Now, I'm not sitting there saying they're deadlifting 600 pounds and then walking on the treadmill, ride a bike, whatever the fuck they're doing. But they are up at 4 in the morning and they usually don't go to bed till 10, 11, sometimes midnight.
Mhm.
They are grinding all day long in whatever capacity their business is. I could tell you, I don't want to do that. I like to sleep. I like to work out. I like to do my things. I don't want to get up and start consuming news and go give, 5 speeches a day and get my life turned upside down and lambasted. And also also now be at risk of getting shot dead in the street just because of a position I hold for something I built.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Yeah. Oh,
It's also why I'll never be a CEO. You know what I'm saying? People don't understand that. I mean, listen, I remember talking to you. You were up at 3 in the morning because you were training people, working out, grinding, and you were getting after it. Imagine doing that for 50 years, bro. 40 years, 30 years.
well, boy. But and that's the thing too is what's the term? Uh, no risk it, no biscuit. You know what I mean? Like as what's the old Mike Jones song? It said, if you don't work, you don't eat. You don't grind, you don't shine. I mean,
Facts.
that yeah, and like I said, a lot of people, and this is a lesson I've had to learn. I'm not actually said I've had to learn. I mean, I always knew this was the thing, but I guess it's been more in practice. I've seen it more in practice. The last couple of years of my life of that. When you like people are like, oh, I want to be strong. I was like, gotta be careful what you're asking for, right? I was like, because
Yeah.
you don't know what it actually takes to get. I was like, you're asking for something, but you're not asking or you're praying for whatever manifesting, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? I was like, you're asking for the end result, but you're not realizing what it actually takes to get to that point. I was like, everybody, yeah, we all want the top of the mountain. Of course we do. Everybody wants top of the mountain, right? I was like, but that's not, there's no escalator for that. I was like, you got to climb up there. I was like,
Well,
you're leaving out the middle part. Like
yeah,
there's some
that
shit
part's
in the middle,
hard.
and even whether it's the top of the mountain, whether it's the end of the line, there's some shit in the middle that's got to happen, and you're leaving that part out. Like that's actually probably the most important part. You know?
Well, I can tell you one thing, a couple things, but like it's the same thing. People who they shit on they shit on people who do steroids. They're like, oh, he's only that big because he do steroids, and I'm like, what? If you took steroids right now and you don't make any changes, you will not look like that. You can't take steroids and then go walk on a treadmill for 45 minutes and get jacked. Like nothing will happen for you. All you'll get is acne and a hairy back and small nuts. You know what I'm saying? Or like, oh man, I want to have abs. So I want to have a six pack. My son would give me shit all the time. He's like, Dad, you don't have abs. I'm like, your dad used to have abs. And I knew what it take to get there. I had to work out 6 hours a day, eat 10,000 fucking calories. It was a full-time job.
Have my time, kid. You
Uh,
don't know what it takes to get here. You don't know what it takes for me to have gotten this either. So
no. And yes. But now that he's, doing his things in Marine, he's working out, he's crushing. But that motherfucker is up every day, 4 or 5 in the morning, goes, works
yep,
out for 2 hours, taking all protein, creatine, doing all the things. Then
yep.
he goes to class all day. Then he gets out of class. Then he has to go eat right. Then he goes for a run. And I'm like, it's a lot of work, isn't it? He goes, yeah, but I got abs now. I'm like, correct. But yeah, now give yourself a bum knee and add 100 pounds. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but grind for the next 30 years and see how that works out for you. You know what I mean?
That, but listen, I wanted to work out for him, right? That's why when he was like, "Dad, I don't want to play football," I said, "Son," he laughs now, but I think he was 12. I can't remember how old he was. I said, "Son, you're gonna have amazing knees."
But, well, I get so angry at this is just everything, but people like so angry at people who just started fitness shit like later on in their life after after the 20s whatever like oh man like oh the guy's like bro I've been playing sports since I was 7 years old 6 years 7 years
Yeah,
old and there's a lot of miles on his body there's a lot of miles on his body I've been playing
yeah,
contact football since I was what 9 so from
yeah,
9 to what 29 to what 2021 just there's a lot of miles on his body bro I was like football and baseball I was like bro I'm banged up. I was like, but you get the people who, again, obviously, social media, whatever. I was like, oh man, look at my transformation for the last 2 years. Like, bro, you've never done anything in your life.
yeah,
It's like you never, you have a zero adversity when it comes to battling through shit. You've never been injured. You never had you never broke a bone. You never done anything.
yeah.
So yeah, well, okay, well, let me give you a couple concussions, some broken ribs, jacked up knee. Let me tear your shit up, 2 or 3 times, fuck your shoulder up, and then let's see after that.
Yeah, let's see how you
Let's see
feel with that.
what you feel after that. Let's see if you really like it as much as you say you do. Right?
Yeah,
It's all
fair
good.
enough.
It's all good until that adversity comes. And I was well, Robert's over some shit somewhere. It's a really good part. And yeah, actually, it's so good. I actually might tattoo the shit on my body. Dude.
Oh
It's
shit.
it says essentially it says adversity gives you the opportunity to prove who you say you are.
Hmm.
Right? But it's like the Mike Tyson thing, right? It's like everybody got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Now what?
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
what you gonna do? You know what I mean?
You know what? Actually, you just reminded me of something else. Hold on. Sorry. I'm going to get his name right because I've been listening to Andrew Huberman,
Mm-hmm.
Health and Wellness. You should, again, I just recommend it to everybody, but trying to remember the dude's name. Stuart McMillan. All right. He's a track
Okay.
and field coach. And I'm going to ask you your opinion because athletes, bro.
Mm-hmm.
He said human speed, he goes, running is the best indicator of athleticism, meaning
Yeah.
he feels that sprinters, fastest man in the world is the fastest man in the world.
Yeah.
Period. The end. Because it's a measurable thing,
Yeah.
a measurable contest. And he goes, it is the highest. I'm trying not to fuck it up, but it was something. It's a 3 hour fucking podcast, but I'm still listening to it.
Yeah.
He goes, it is the highest achievement of fitness you can attain. Speed. He's like, not endurance. He goes, that's a different thing. Speed. He goes, Usain Bolt ran 100 meters in 9 point whatever 987 whatever the fuck it was sub 10. He goes, he's the fastest man in the fucking world for that time. He goes, it's not the same best football player, best baseball player. He goes, there could be some kid in Argentina that could throw 108 miles an hour. What you know what I mean? Like there could be some dude in who knows where that's a 400-pound dude that can run a 440. You know what I mean? Like whatever. He goes, so it's the most measurable skill set for athleticism. And within that 3 hours, he talks about different ways to attain your top speed. He goes, not everybody's going to be able to be as fast as Usain Bolt. A lot of that's genetics, but
Yeah.
there are things you can do to train for it. But so far, it's been very interesting. But what is your thought on that?
Um, on the running as an indicator of athleticism.
Yes, speed,
Uh,
not just running, speed.
yeah, I see his point. I would give a little bit pushback on it. I would say, I guess this kind of falls into it. Speed is part of it, but I would say coordination is a.
Okay.
I would say coordination factors into that a little bit because there's plenty of people who are just straight line fast, right? I was like, but have zero agility and bad hand-eye coordination, right? So we're talking about athleticism. I think that goes in there with it. But I get his point, though. But I think there's a couple things you got to add into that as well. Put it this way: would you say? When I get what he's talking about as far as measurables, right? We're talking about speed, because we're all measuring, distance wise, whatever. So, but would you say that LeBron James is a better athlete than an overall athlete than Noah Lyles, who just won just won the 100 this last Olympics?
I don't know.
LeBron's bigger. He could jump, probably jump higher, shoot better, hand-eye coordination. I get it, but if we're talking about just measurables, I don't know. I think you had to throw vertical in there as well, leaping ability. I think I'd
All right.
toss in there. I'd definitely toss that one in there. I mean, there's guys who probably can't run as fast as fucking Usain Bolt, but could, jump out of a fucking gym, like fucking 55 in vertical. I'm like, that's impressive as fuck.
I won't say, I won't deny, what was it? The fucking and one basketball or the goat who could jump and touch the top of the backboard, like the top
Bro,
part. Like
I
that
mean,
shit's
yeah, we're
insane.
not talking about not the rim, the backboard.
Yeah, yeah, the top of the
Dude,
backboard.
taking dollars off the top of the backboard. I'm like, bro, come on. Like, come on, dog. So I think, yeah, I mean, I get what he's saying as far as like measurable, but I would probably a little bit of pushback. I'd throw vertical, I'd throw leaping ability in there as well.
All right. Well, now I'm going to tie a few more things in because I'm on the sports section. The baseball player who said that Major League Baseball is a white people sport.
Wait, what? Who said that?
Oh, bro, you didn't hear about this?
Who said that?
Oh, bro, hold on, bro. Hold on. I gotta look it up. I'm gonna tell you who said it. Let's see. I think he plays for the Yankees. Uh, Jazz Chisholm
Oh, the
Jr.
guy that they just picked last year. Yeah.
Sorry, he said it's a white sport.
In what context?
6% of last year's opening day players were black.
Yeah. How many of them were Latin?
Yeah, well, there you go. I don't know that one.
How many were Latin? How many were Asian? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Um,
know. Top players in the league right now. They're not white.
well, okay. Okay. I, I understand what he's saying. I get it.
Yeah.
Right? Get it? Because somebody who grew up playing baseball. I will say that I get what he's trying to say, the point he's trying to make. But I think I put it this way. I view that argument the same way I view American soccer, men's soccer, on a world scale, right? Our best athletes do not play soccer on a men's national level. Our best athletes are not playing soccer, right?
Facts.
Countries, soccer is not a top sport. Other countries, Brazil, Argentina, Mexico, Spain, like some of these other, but your best, the best athletes you have are playing that sport, and it's reflective in the rankings and the results or whatever. So when he's saying it's a white sport, I would venture to say maybe what he's trying to say, what I take him to be saying is that the undertone of it anyway is that our best athletes don't play baseball. They're playing basketball. They're playing football. They're running track. They're doing other things as opposed to playing baseball. So I ran into a situation. I never get the shit. That happened to me for a loop back then, but this happened to me on two occasions. Once in high school, another time in college. And I was a better athlete than the other white kids on the team, right? My cousin was. This happened to a couple other kids that I played with that were black versus whatever. It's like we played multiple sports. So in the springtime it was baseball. In the wintertime it was basketball for a little bit. Obviously, summer going into fall was football season. Right? I'm sorry, spring and the summer. You got spring ball in the summer is the thing, obviously. Into the summer was Legion, summer ball, whatever, and then that would lead into football season in the fall. And the wintertime was basketball. Because we were off playing football during fall, the coach would be like, "Well, would make the argument, well, you can play multiple positions we're gonna put you at left or center field or third or whatever because the other white kid might not be as athletic or as good, but we're gonna stick him here in the middle and some of these other prominent spots on the field because that's the only thing that he can do. And he does this all the time, so he might be more dedicated. And I'm like, that's not my fault. He's not as good as me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? And even in college, I was like, in my freshman year, I was like, he's like, because I was playing a position that we really didn't use too much. I was playing running back, fullback, and I was behind a couple guys, and we ran the spread. And I was a fullback. We don't really use that. And I remember the coach would say, he'd ask me, he's like, well, he's like, well, you play baseball too. You ever thought about just going to play baseball instead? I'm like, but
What are you
I'm
trying?
scared because this is what are you trying to say? It's like, almost as like you're good. Like, wouldn't you prefer to do like something else? Because almost as and I don't think that even with the baseball thing, think I don't want to put the racism clause on somebody without them coming out and saying it, right? I say, but I could feel the undertone of it being what Chisholm is saying is like this is like our that's like this is the only thing that we have as as a white thing. You have this other thing you could go do. Why are you trying to be like in this space? And I'm like, I don't want to put that on him and say that's 100% what he was saying, but that was what kind of like the undertone of what I felt it being. I'm like, hmm, okay, interesting. Because bro, I've seen, I know this happened to my cousin. I know he probably would never talk about this, but I'll tell it for him. He's like, bro, it's not even close, not even fucking close. Him being a better athlete than some of the other kids on the team, and it's like we we're all looking at the same thing, guys. Like, well, we all see what's happening here. It's like, why is he not getting burned over the other kid? Well, we're gonna put him over here instead. It's like he's the best shortstop on the team. It's not even close. Well, we're gonna put him at second.
Why?
He's why? Look, say why? Like no, like say why? Like what? We're all looking at the same shit. He's a better fielder, has a better arm, he's faster, has a better bat, hits more. What are we talking about right now? What's happening? You know what I mean? So I think in listening to what he's saying, I kind of get it. And this is for this one, going through that experience in that sense, which is the first time that I learned. My parents would tell me this when I was younger. Sometimes you're gonna have to do twice as much to get the same. This was the first time in my life, and I didn't really understand the the, the magnitude of it at the time. This was my first time actually seeing it. If I'm not overwhelmingly twice as good, you might not get the burn or a player did do whatever. So you have to be overwhelmingly good to be able just to get a shot. And I'm like, hmm, okay. And it's really not that it's sobering, but it's like, oh, okay. Well, at least now I know what we're dealing with. Okay, I'm gonna have to be like whatever.
See, I don't know, man. I mean, because obviously I played for TSU,
Yeah.
HBCU,
Yeah.
and I was usually the only white guy, or there may be two of us whatever. I think I'm the only one that stayed from beginning to end and graduated from TSU, Tennessee State University. I never felt that way, or like I was a diversity pick,
Yeah.
or any. I felt like I earned that shit,
Mhm.
and I was always privileged to play alongside phenomenal athletes. And it wasn't until maybe my senior year somebody said that to me. They're like, "Well, yeah, they got to make sure they have a white guy. And they call me the token white guy." And I was like, "What?"
Okay.
I was like, "Token white guy? I don't know that. I don't know that I've ever heard it used that way, but okay." And I'm like, but it immediately made me doubt what I had accomplished.
Mhm.
Uh, and it wasn't from my teammates. My teammates never made me feel that way at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I'm having a hard time putting myself in that position, but what I'm saying is I could understand, especially if it was coming from I mean, I think if one of my teammates said that to me, it probably would have knocked me out, bro. Like it would have undercut me because it would have diminished everything I felt like I had accomplished. So I can't imagine what it would be like to be put in that position. Let's phrase it that way.
Yeah,
I also don't know that every instance of that where that occurs that is the intent.
yeah, and that's why I say I don't want to put that on them without them coming out and saying it. But like I said, it's like the put it this way. I guess the better way to say is I think that's how it feels and that's how it's perceived on the other end. I
Yeah,
think I think that and we talk about as far as like even if it was that, even if they never said it, I was like racism is one of those things you can't prove until something happens or until they come out and fucking say it, right? It's
yeah,
like you're never really gonna know unless they say something about it. You're not gonna be able to prove that one way or the other. But I know I'm not the only one that has a story like that or has encountered a situation like that.
yeah,
Um, even when it even when it comes like I think this is why the DEI thing is a big hot button issue, right? And bro, we've seen it. We've seen it. I think we talked about it before, even in a law court. Well, it'd be like you and I have done things, and you see me do things real wise, where it's like when I do one thing, it's like, oh yeah, that sounds good, and then you'll have somebody else do the exact same thing, and it's like, oh my god, that's so fucking amazing, and oh my god, what a great effort. You're like, wait a minute, dude, I just did
bro.
that
It's
last.
not you. You didn't get the lifesaving award, bro. Really, really.
I can't even be mad at that one because it was another black deputy, so I can't even be upset at that one. Right? But but you know what I mean. But put it this way, it's like it happens once or twice, okay, maybe, right? But if there's a pattern of that like continuing to happen, hold on a minute, like
Well, what sucks about that, and again, I was listening. Tucker Carlson had a pilot on, female pilot, and she's like, "I've been a pilot for 20 years." Hold on, 20 years, and she goes, "I'm an airman because I fucking earned it.
yep,
Everything my male counterparts did, I did too."
yep,
And she goes, "I hate this DEI bullshit because now it diminishes my accomplishments." And she goes, "And other women and other people with whatever minorities, because now you don't know. It puts a question in your mind whenever you see a female or somebody not a white male who's a pilot. You go, are they the best pilot for the job? Whereas they may have earned that shit,
yeah,
and now you've diminished what they accomplished.
yeah,
And so it somehow we got to be able to incorporate diversity again, because the thing is this: like the idea that white doctors are better than black doctors or are not treating black babies as well as black doctors. Like, that's fucking insane, bro. And if that is true, that guy should be fucking thrown to jail. Like, if that's a real thing, they should be thrown in fucking prison. I don't
yeah,
give a fuck what color you are, what gender you are. If you're the best, I want the best person to do whatever it is I fucking need done. I don't give a fuck.
yeah,
I don't even really care about your bedside manner, to be honest with you. Uh,
made me
you
dog.
so I mean, it makes you feel better if you're nice, but if you're a fucking asshole, but you're the best surgeon or whatever the fuck, I don't care, dude. I can't remember what the show was, but it was New Amsterdam,
Mm,
and the thoracic surgeon was this. They portrayed him as a arrogant black man from Atlanta who fucking doesn't give a fuck and tells the chief of medicine and the CEO to fuck off. He's gonna, he's like, I'm the fucking best. I'm like, you're goddamn right. And that's who the fuck I want working on me, bro. I don't want the surgeon rolling up in a goddamn Ferrari because he's banking because he's the fucking best. That's
but,
anything. And I'll tell you right now, you go laugh, but if I'm getting a prostate exam, I would prefer to have a female put her little tiny finger in my asshole than some dude than you put your finger in my asshole because that's violation, bro. so, so no, when I went back there and I'm like, oh, I feel more comfortable because it's another white dude. No, I don't. I actually feel more uncomfortable.
first
Like,
of all, Paul.
let me see your hands. Hold up, bro. Now you ain't doing that. I need somebody else.
Exactly. Pause first and foremost. Second of all, I don't feel comfortable. I feel worse now. But now I get what you're saying, bro. But I mean, put it this way: in most cases, right? And this is obviously this is subjective as most of these things are, right? Like what is more? I want to say like oh, here we go. White cornerback,
Cornerback.
white cornerback.
So for me, so hold on, I'll get to that.
Hmm.
White running back. Everyone kind of went until you see that motherfucker run. So for me, it's like you might pause. You just want to wait and see. There's no
Hmm.
assumption of greatness
Right.
until you see what they actually do. Yeah, if that white quarterback gets burned 9 out of 10 times, bro, get the fuck out of here.
Hmm.
But we've all seen it, and dude, I mean, it happened for me. White tight end and defensive end. This motherfucker ain't. And then you do something not to fucking shit. They're like, yo, yes, that's like people get because they want to see, do you have the ability to do the job?
Now,
Not because you're white,
now
but
we'll,
they
we'll
want to
touch
see
back,
it. Mhm.
push back on it a little bit. White corner, white running back, white whatever, and in a typically black dominated space, right? So we'll do the inverse of what,
Yeah, go ahead.
right? Do you think so? We did like a blind test and said, hey, tight end A had you know 700 yards, 8 touchdowns, whatever for the season. Tight end B had 900 yards, 9 touchdowns for the season. Which one of those things would be better on paper, right? You'd be like, oh,
B.
see, the second one, right? So would it change your perception if A was a white tight end or was a white corner or was a white? You'd be like, oh, motherfucker's actually holding his own. And then you're like, it's like, which one of these things would be, because it's a black dominated typically space, like, oh, look at the white. The white dude was almost as good. Like he's not the top, but he's higher than you expected him to be, right? I think at the inverse, you'd be like, oh, well, they got a white dude out there playing corner who's actually holding his own. It's like almost like, are you surprised by his number, or are you surprised because he's white doing that in what typically is a black dominated space?
See, that's hard with me because I say both. I don't know, man.
Put this way, if there's a white corner who is just as fast as Dion, did all the stats, you'd be like, damn, would it be shit? He's just really that good, or like, oh shit, you got a white corner who's actually good. It'd almost be like he's being referred to as a white corner, not just because he's good. It's also because he is white and is good.
I see the comparison you're making.
Yep. See what I mean? And so I think
Yeah, but
yeah,
but
in
it's
the
like
physical,
if you see a black
I
hockey
think
player,
yeah,
but if you see a black hockey player that's just as good as Wayne Gretzky,
you'd be like, no,
is it
would
is he more impressive because he's black, or is he impressive because he is that fucking good?
I think that is I think that's where the subjectiveness comes in. You're not gonna be able to tell either way, right? But you'd be like, oh, yeah, motherfucker. Like, oh, and he's white. Oh, okay. And I'll pay attention to this because he's white in a typically black dot city. So what Chisholm's talking about, hey, on the inverse, right? Baseball typically, especially when I was growing up, was majority white sport. That if you come in and you're like you can't like for example, like you can't be just as good as the other white kids because you're just as good. Like you like in order for you to stand out, you have to be twice as good in order for you to stand out to get the same level of like, oh he's really really good. And
Hmm.
you can't have the same numbers. You got to have at least double the numbers. Like you have to stand out more with your play because put it this way, well, the Jackie Robinson thing, right?
Yeah,
Is Jackie Robinson an all-time great because of his numbers, or is Jackie Robinson an all-time great because he's the first black guy?
can it not be
And
both?
and why did they pick him? Because there was other black players who probably had better, who were probably better than him at the time.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I
Like
would say
why?
both. My thing is this: if you were the first black player and then you were just average, not the same effect.
But that's what I mean though. Like you have to be. If Jackie Robinson was just a regular, hey, hit for 200, and he was just the first black player, but they sat him on the bench, would it really be significant?
No.
I mean, it would be significant because he's the first. It wouldn't be significant because he's good. You have to be good.
Hmm. Well, uh, that's I need to think on that more. So while I'm thinking on that, let me pose this to you. I'll leave names out of it just because he's a buddy of mine.
Hmm.
His son is a freshman in high school, plays for a giant school. Try to
Yeah.
be vague, so I don't put it on who it is, but phenomenal athlete. And in all fairness, all his kids, which is outrageous. I mean,
Hmm.
nothing but positivity, but all his kids are fucking phenomenal athletes. It blows my mind.
Hmm.
As a freshman, is already getting NIL deals and having people manage his social media and all this. He's a freshman, 14, dude.
Okay.
And so, but I love the guy to death. But he's like, I'm like, so how do you talk to your son? This like, how do you talk him through that? Like, that's a lot, bro. Like, that's a lot of hype for a 14-year-old. Like, he's like, yeah, we've already started talking because he's like, oh, dad, I could play for Alabama, whatever, Alabama or whatever, big schools. And he's like, you're thinking like an employee. He goes, those are huge schools. You can make a lot of money. He
Hmm.
goes, but who has more money and more power? The player who plays for the owner of the team or the owner or the manager?
Yeah.
He's like, I'd much rather you go to a school for education purposes so you could own and run a team than be a player. They're both great accomplishments. He's like, but you got to think beyond your employment terms. People don't think about that shit like that. And I was like, how did your 14-year-old son take that? He goes, he doesn't understand what I'm saying. I'm like, well, he goes, but I'm going to keep pounding it in him for 4 years, and hopefully it sticks. But he
Yeah.
goes, you know, because again, growing up as an athlete, going pro on whatever, MLB, NFL, NBA, whatever, like that's the height.
Yeah.
I was already thinking beyond that. And he talks about players who become partial owners or managers. He's like, that's where longevity comes in. He goes, because otherwise you're 30 years old, you made your money, and now nobody gives a fuck about you.
Yeah. Nobody talks about the shortness of career. They just see, oh, LeBron James
Nope.
played for 20 years, but Tom Brady played till he's 45. That don't happen.
No, that's super rare.
That don't happen at all, ever. Like that is the
It's
point zero
that's
zero
hold
zero.
on. Let me Google. Let me the old Google bots here. Average. We'll just stick with the end of it. Average NFL career. 3 years. 3 years, bro. Three
NFL
fucking
stands for
years.
no. NFL stands for not for long.
Amazing. I was gonna say 7, but I didn't realize it was 3 because I think you got to do 10 years to get your pension for the NFL.
I think seven's the pension for NFL.
Oh well, you know what? We got the worldwide fucking web here
Hmm.
to get pension. What? 5 years.
Mm.
But still, think about that. That's like saying, hey, you get Social Security at 62. The average lifespan is 60. Hey, you got to play in the NFL for 5 years to get your pension, but the average career is 3 years. All right, that sounds like a good deal to me.
Yeah, okay, yeah, sure. All right. Yeah.
All right. 2 more things. I want to do this full time, bro. 2 more things because and I want to ask your opinion. The high school track girls track team where she hit that chick in the head with a
Did that shit
baton.
on, did that shit on purpose.
Huh?
Get out of here. She did that shit on
Say it
purpose.
again.
So, she did it on purpose. No.
Well,
Wasn't
let's ask her.
wasn't
It's racist. It's racist to point it out. Her defense was, I love her defense. I don't recognize that person. I would never do that. Well, is this not you doing this?
like, yeah,
I mean,
I,
I like to deny it on the premise. I would never do something like that. That's not in my character.
I get it.
If it's not you on film doing this thing, I would never do something like
But you
that.
tell me. You tell me. I don't know.
Bro. So outrageous. Like, what do you got?
Uh, I think it's I think it's outrageous. I think she just maybe just had a moment of, being outside of what she probably would normally do. I mean, I don't think she would wake up and just in a rational thought decide to do that. Of course not. I think she just had a moment, and I would never want people to be judged off of their worst moments. You know what I mean?
Now that I agree with.
Yeah.
Shit, I understand why she did it. I wanted to do the same shit. Like, motherfucker.
Damn, man, fuck, whatever. It's like I get it, right? But I mean, yeah, the whole like it's my natural running form. It's like, hey, wait, come on, now. First of all,
It's
don't,
like,
well, yeah,
ding,
don't,
ding.
You know what I mean? Don't handle a girl for fucking forever. Like, all right, she made a mistake. Be done with it. All right, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
All right. Last question. And we were going to talk about it last time, but it wasn't quite main news yet, and it's probably going to get us in trouble. But it's now hit mainstream, and
Mhm.
not to hammer on Stephen A. Smith, but Stephen A. Smith had a conversation with Ben Shapiro about George Floyd, bro. And this is my question. This is my only not into the not even getting into the legalities of it, but Ben Shapiro asked Stephen A. Smith a question. He said, "What evidence would you have to see to change your mind? Was there anything that you could ever imagine that could be presented to you to change your mind on the conviction of Derek Chauvin?" And Stephen A. Smith said, "No, I've
Mm.
seen enough."
Ooh, that's a really good question. That's a really good question.
I'm a little stuck on it. I'm surprised it's coming from the Daily Wire team, Ben Shapiro,
Yeah.
Michael Knowles, all these people. To me, it seemed like it came out of the blue, and all of a sudden, they're like, "Oh, he needs to be what? Why? Why are you bringing this up?" And
Isn't that for like parole or something? Is he up for something?
no,
Really?
no,
Yeah. Why is this coming out on at this point?
I don't know. Well, they feel it was a miscarriage of justice. They don't like the fact that they feel like he was wrongfully convicted. They're getting into the details of the case, but a lot of people are like, "I don't care about the details of the case. We saw the video of what he did, and that's enough."
Mm, that's a tough one. That's a tough question.
Well, is there any evidence that could be presented to you where you would say that man was wrongfully convicted for murder?
Oof. I mean, on the premise, I would have to say yes, right? On the premise of the rational premise, I would have to say yes. Two reasons. That reason. Two, I would never want to be on the other side of that, knowing that you know what I mean. I was like, I would want the same, I guess, opportunity to absolve myself. You know what I mean? But on the flip side, when I get the optics and the public,
Oh, the
uh,
optics are
well,
atrocious.
not even the optics, the what most people are not going to be able to get past is the emotion of the whole thing,
Yep.
right? And I've asked myself, and I asked a similar question. I ask people this all the time. I said, what would happen if you woke up tomorrow and everything that you thought you believed in was proven to be wrong? Then what? What would that do to your mind and to your psyche? Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, so, you know what I mean? I think that this question goes in line with that. And I'm like, ooh. Uh, Again, I think the better question would be, is there enough evidence that would change your emotions on the whole thing?
I don't think you're ever going to change the emotions of the scenario.
Yeah,
There's
okay.
nothing you can do. It's
You-
already solidified in public opinion. It doesn't
yeah,
matter
yeah.
because that's what Shapiro was saying. He's like, the autopsy revealed there was nothing external that killed that guy. I'm sorry, that killed George Floyd.
Mhm.
He had fentanyl, he had heart disease. Basically, he died from the combination of those two things. And Stephen A. Smith thing was like he still had his knee, whether you say it's on his back or on his neck, whatever, for 9 minutes while he was on the ground. That wouldn't have helped. That couldn't have helped the situation, basically.
Well, no.
And which I agree with
Yeah,
wholeheartedly. But Shapiro was saying, what if it was your son? What if that was your brother? What if that was your father
yeah.
that got caught on tape?
In both
Whatever.
scenarios. Yeah,
In either scenario, right?
yeah,
But public opinion right now is George Floyd was murdered. He goes, now what if that was your dad, your brother, your son, who was Derek Chauvin, who was again trying to do whatever job he was doing? And listen, I'm not painting him the best. I'm not trying to say he's a fucking
perfect hero. Yeah,
star.
yeah,
I'm not saying he's the epitome of law enforcement by any stretch of the imagination. There's a lot of things that could have been done differently, but and you get your life is destroyed, ruined, and you get stabbed a bunch of times in jail for a murder you did not commit because public opinion said you did.
yeah. I think it depends on it depends on what side of it you're on. I think
Yeah.
if you're the family of Derek Chauvin, you're gonna obviously want to have that change. If you're the family of George Floyd, it's not gonna matter.
Well, I'm not seeing the public outcry to let Derek Chauvin go. I haven't seen it. Like I said, it came out of
And,
nowhere, and I don't necessarily,
and it's
I don't
not.
know how I feel about it one way or the other. I'm like, it's just a rough spot, bro. It's just, but it's interesting. It's starting to, it's being pushed into the public eye.
Yeah, that's interesting. Hmm.
Food for thought, bro.
Yeah. Hmm.
We'll ponder that. Maybe we'll bring it up on the next one.
Yeah, well, that's a good one. Yeah, we'll have to revisit that one for sure.
All right, brother. I gotta cut. I
Yeah,
appreciate
me
your
too.
time. I'm talking to you.
Gotta get out there, brother. All right,
Let's go. Go grind, baby. Go grind.
exactly.
All right, bro.
Later.